Back when I was in college, sometime between 2012 and 2015 or so, I saw this video of Robert Glasper talking about something that he does whenever he's leading shows. And this thing that he talked about really changed my life as a band leader and also as a performer. And that's what this video is about. Basically, what he said is something along the lines of anytime I'm doing a show, I'm always watching the audience and their reaction and paying attention to the way they're perceiving the show. And I watch and I make changes. If I see that they're getting bored, I change something. It helps me know what's needed because I want these people to come back to another show. Now, unfortunately, I can't find this exact video. I searched far and wide, and I even used AI, but I just can't find it anywhere. But I'll tell you, when I first saw it, it was on Facebook, and I'm pretty sure it was a black and white video, an interview. And so if you find the video, please leave a link for the rest of us so that we can find it, especially me. I looked so hard for it. But anyway, that's a pretty good paraphrase of what he said. Ever since seeing him say this, I have always watched closely the audience's reaction to any show that I'm leading and also on other people's shows. And I've learned some things about programming that I think is really important. And ultimately, the thing that I've learned is contrast is everything. Contrast in the order of solos. Sometimes one of the most interesting ways to change things up is to start off with a upswing, a banger, and really, really going. And then bam, the first thing that happens is a bass solo. You got to have a good bass soloist to do it. But the first thing that happens is a bass solo. That's like, whoa, no one was expecting that. I was expecting a saxophone or a trumpet solo. That changes things up. Or the order of the pieces, making sure that you're not doing two medium swings in a row, making sure that they're constantly changing. The number of solos. Do you really need to have everybody in the band play a solo on every tune? No, you don't. Or even how long you play a tune, and then there's some tunes that just like glaze people's eyes over. So one example is, you might hate me for it, but giant steps. I've literally never performed giant steps and saw during the performance, the audience was like, yeah, giant steps. I've just never literally seen it ever. Now, yeah, they clap after solos and they clap when the tune is over, but they're always going to do that. I'm watching during the tune to see how people are reacting. And I just never see people get excited for something like giant steps. Also, odd meters without like a clear place to tap your foot and get into it, like for the audience level musical ability, that tends to glaze people's eyes over too. And then like slow songs, ballads and stuff, I get in and out of those pretty quick. If I'm programming a ballad, I'm doing the head, I'm doing one chorus of a solo, I'm doing a half chorus, and then I'm doing half the head out. And we're moving on. I'm not hanging out on ballads at all. All of that stuff kind of makes people's eyes glaze over. Those are just a couple examples. And again, the emphasis here is we want people to come back to shows. If I had to choose between 200 invested, committed listeners who are always going to come back whenever they get a chance, and 1,000 uninvested listeners, it's like there's no competition. I want the people that want to come back, and I want to keep seeing them. Well, I lead concert series is like kind of the main thing I do. I have a concert series down in Fort Myers and in Lake Wales, Florida. And so I'm trying to create experiences where people want to keep coming back and keep coming back. So what should you look for? Well, you're looking for their faces and you're looking for their reactions and what they're doing with their bodies. Obviously, it's dependent on the context that you're in, but for me, I do jazz concerts for a seated audience. So the things that I'm looking for people moving their heads. I'm looking for people moving their heads. I'm looking for people tapping their feet. Any vocalizations. Woo, yeah, that stuff is that's good news. And big applause, whether that's after a solo or even during a solo or during a moment in the melody of a tune. Those are all really, really good signs that the audience is into it. And I take note of that stuff in my head. I'm really paying attention to that. I'm also looking for bad signs. No feedback is a bad sign. If you've got 200 people in an audience and they're just respectfully watching, that makes me nervous. That doesn't feel exciting to me at all. That makes me think I need to change something. What can we change up? Or if you see people talking or pulling out cell phones and things like that, it's clear indication that they're bored and they need some stimulation other than your music. Something's wrong. Let's get it fixed. What are we going to fix? What are we going to change? And I change things on stage. I'll cut a solo and say, let's take the head out in a heartbeat. I won't feel anything. Or last chorus. I'll tell a soloist this is the last chorus and we're moving on. I'll do that in a heartbeat. And the same thing in the opposite. If the audience is really loving it, I'll say, let's do one more, play one more. Whatever. I'm just always paying attention to the reaction of the audience and trying to make sure that they're having a great experience. And if they're not, I change something in real time. I don't have to wait. I will change something in real time. I'll yell something on stage if that's what's necessary to get us back on with the audience. And I watch on other people's gigs too, by the way, not just mine. I watch audience reactions to stage talk from the person talking, reaction to their music, reaction to how people come out on stage. Like, I watch all of it. I just watch all of it. And it's helped me to develop very good instincts for leading my own concerts, which is ultimately why I'm watching so closely, is to develop those good instincts. So that's it for this one. If you got any questions, let me know. Bye, y'all. Blessings.